What's up, fight fans? I'm J.COTTO, and welcome to J.COTTO's Fight Page.
Been through so much pain, but I know I'ma make it. It's my time to play, if I ain't more than average. I won't be like the ordinary. I won't let my story kill me.
As I roam the cruddy streets, finding peace in my glass house. Papa came home too drunk, so my mama put his ass out. She tried to take it, but it went deep. She tried her best with every breath to make ends meet. I really tried to escape prison, but what a feeling. And catching a hard on for drug dealing. Using the talent I was blessed with to get my mama out the rat infested feelings. I try to make it new.
Yes. The voice is familiar. The voice on the opening is very familiar. You'll find that out. I'm bringing y'all today Heyman Arum, the bandwagon, and the contract writers. Now, I've noticed that a lot of people, a lot of uploaders, a lot of people in the media are scared to actually go in on this subject. And I'm just basically going to say it like this. I'm going to go the fuck in on this subject. And half of you guys who go back and forth into channels and aren't subscribers, and I'm talking to the other people that just basically instigate and do other shit, most of you guys are going to be talked about in this. As well as you fucking sanctioning bodies and you promoters out there, as well as fighters. Hashtag come back to boxing. We're going in. Now, Top Rank Boxing, all right, has brought us the great and legendary matches, okay, alongside Don King Promotions and many others. Al Heyman Promotions is the new kid on the block, taking over TV and cable, and just may destroy the cable / pay-per-view model. PBC is Heyman's product. Mostly the new fans tune in to this program to tune into today's boxing and fight styles with younger fighters. Fighters who have fought mediocre and expect a champion's reception. I have stated that top-ranked fighters fight hard and are earners. Hard earners. That is why they have legacy and resumes stemming from mediocre levels all the way to graduation of greats. Heyman fighters are bought. Most have left or breached contracts and even forgot about the meaning of the sport when that contract is presented. The legacy and competitiveness seems to just be omitted as the fans in the sport suffer. At least the ones who have followed, supported, and continued to look for those legacy, unification, and competitive matches. The Heyman model. TV / cable. The Top Rank model. And others out there. Like Golden Boy. Etc. Pay-per-view / cable. Higher ratings will occur when the product is free, of course. But what happens when there is no quality? You may say, I'd rather watch 13 fights for free. But the real boxing heads would pay $60 to $80 for two great quality matches. The other factor is the topic of injuries. Football has had its day with head injuries and other major injuries players have underwent and sustained within the sport. Real fighters knew that the risk and dangers were high and still earned their living. Yes, the demographics of the sport is way different. But just like a heart in any body, it still does its job. Boxing has risks, and fighters know this. So why don't they do their job? Now, Fight fans, no excuses, no biased notions, and let's be honest with each other. To say the action needs to be turned down, then complain when you get UDs and no knockouts or knockdowns, careful, safe, but yet y'all complain. Now, I respect the man, but I don't respect his journalism. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this: fuck Stephen A. Smith. He's a propaganda leader. Okay, continues to say what every Mayweather fan says. Manny was put to sleep. But real fight fans, real boxing heads know Manny and many other fighters like him are well respected because, like the greats, he took risks. Counter arguments are welcomed when looking at catchweights. Okay? But understand, Pacquiao was, I repeat, till this day, was always the smaller man. The casual model has been taught through the Heyman program as he gives you an offer he can't refuse. We all know that the product is in a $4 billion debt with its investors. They have taken down major boxing programs with promises to replace them with an even greater program, and was never produced. Like programs, ESPN Friday Night Fights, for instance. What Heyman needs to do is cross his brand over with real boxing promotions. And sanctioning bodies need to enforce their policies as well as ranking systems. Order needs to be handed out, man. Okay? Arum has been known to be a bastard, a cheat, crook, everything in the fucking book. But the thing is, and notice, when Floyd left, all of these allegations came out. Now notice the work ethic and lackluster matches that we had to endure. It's awesome to be able to be your own partial boss, but what happens when one doesn't know the fighting side of the promotion game? The matchmaking dynamic. One man can be and can have power in the sport, but no man can rule or run the sport for himself. The contracts of Mikey Garcia, etc., was all because Arum expects you to fight hard. He only knows this. There is no slave-driven innuendos or anything like that when you have to fight within a sport that consists of just that, fighting. Heyman fighters fight, but not like Top Rank and past Golden Boy fighters and other fighters in other promotions. If the fights were exciting, action-packed, the ones that you've seen that didn't come from Heyman, then that was boxing. Heyman had a lot to do with smearing legacy and unification fighters. The product has a lot to do with erasing the past, or trying to erase the past. The agenda is to have a soft-core sport. Okay? Blood is shed from accidental headbutts, not from strategic shots these days, guys. A lot of today's fans don't know the difference between a legacy fighter and a prize fighter. It's all. Okay? The examples, everything, all in front of your faces. Here's an example. Here are two examples. Garcia had a choice for legacy, but said he wanted more money. That's a prize fighter. Broner wants more money, $10 million. Prize fighter. So on and so forth. Now you do your own list. Mostly all of these Heyman fighters will want more money, thinking they are marketable only because they are showcased on free TV. When the pay-per-view model actually made that a fact, okay? And it also made it a fucking feat for all fighters. Pay-per-view is the model that made fighters prove their worth. One has to have something to fight for, an incentive. If high money is just given, where's the incentive? What, straps? Is this why they have produced belts A, B, C, D, E, F, and fucking G? Is it fair for real fighters who want to actually fight and unify and showcase themselves? Is it fair that they have to be shelved, shunned, and hated because of the cover-up to push serial face boxers on that brain-damaged, low-risk, high-reward model? But yet, you are deprived of the real science of the sport. All of these insults, wars, so-called beefs, are a product of this biased, casual, lackluster model. Thurman, Porter, and a couple more will want to break free soon, as they want hard fights, and Heyman will not risk the fighters going hard because of the other depending formula. The O, the undefeated streak. Once you lose your O, you're a no-go. That is what PBC and Heyman teach. But Arum and the other real promoters teach adversity within the sport, as we witness all types of styles clashing and witnessing historical matches, setting records for fastest KOs, fastest or most punches landed. How about most title defenses? Do we get that today? Only on certain fighters. Now, I am not knocking out Heyman because he is black. I am happy that he is a black man, an Afro-American, doing his thing in boxing. It's just his formula. And as I see this, we are getting nothing but fake defenses, voluntary, skipped ranked fighters, and bad politics. The sanctioning bodies are the blame as well. The WBA has been hard on their ranking system. Excellent. Now, will the WBO, WBC, and the IB fucking F please step up? How many times have we seen the WBC make fighter mandatories to other fighters? Then they let fighters dictate their ruling with, they don't tell me who to fight. Now, I just basically want to leave you guys, or should I say give you guys, a little something that Max Kellerman had said to Stephen A. Smith. Okay? I really want to give you that. Because Max Kellerman made a point and shut down Stephen A. Smith with his flow motion tactics, as he resorted to Marquez Pacquiao 4 and mentioned the KO, and Max told him, educated him with, that's what happens when you take risks. Then commenced to break it down to him. Now, when I said flow motion tactics, it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with flamboyism. Now, let me break down the term flow-mo or pack-tard. A lot of people, like the brother Reef, the Watcher, has said in his video, check his channel out, he has mentioned that some guys say with bad intentions of racism, like the word, the N-word. So now I'm going to break it down as to when I say it. I'm speaking for myself and those who follow. Okay, when we say flow-mo or flow motion tactic, that's being a fanboy of Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? As to being a Hulkamaniac, the only thing is Hulkamaniacs was always using a positive motion. When we say pack-tard as well, you know what I'm saying? It's being extreme Pacquiao fan. The same thing as being an extreme Floyd Mayweather fan when you say flow motion. So let me just break that down to you guys for those that don't understand. Okay? But he told them that's what happens when you take risks. Okay? Most that follow PBC and Heyman don't like Lampley, Kellerman, or HBO, De La Hoya, Arum, or any other faction signed to HBO. But I'm going to leave you with what he said. I'm going to give you a little bit of what he said. And I agree with him.
Max, you were working this one. Should Pacquiao take this fight?
Absolutely. Terrence Crawford is the truth. He is not just a good fighter. We know he's a good fighter, a very good fighter. And you don't really know for sure until they go out and prove it. But you get the sense when you're watching Crawford that you're watching a great fighter entering his prime. Now, here's the thing about boxing. Boxing, and I love boxing. And people, a lot of times, it's a guilty pleasure, and they justify it talking about social utility. It takes kids off the street, it instills discipline, etc. And all those things are true. But that's not why I love boxing. It's not why most of us love it. We love it because we like, to see who's better, and we like to see fights. And that's at least what animates me, hierarchical thinking. Who's better between these? Who wins, a tiger or a bear? I don't know, but I want to find out. It's just the way my brain works. And so it's basically exploitation, really. Boxing is basically exploitation. You could argue so is football. And it's usually exploitation of the networks and the fans of the fighters. What we want to see is evenly matched fights, brutal fights, where the fighter has to overcome stuff, improve their heart, improve their will and determination to win. Meanwhile, they're being brain damaged, right? But that's really what the fans are asking for. The managers and the fighters, on the other hand, particularly in Floyd Mayweather's era, which until he's really, really done fighting, I'll believe it when when a couple years go by and he doesn't fight. I think we're still in that era.
Yep.
What he showed was the opposite. It is exploitation, but instead of letting the fans and the networks exploit us, we are going to exploit the fans and the networks by not fighting the fight you want us to see us fight and taking all this punishment, by waiting for just the right time to fight just the right guy, when that guy means maximum reward, minimum risk. Floyd Mayweather said before the Pacquiao fight, when I say TBE, the best ever, I don't mean in the ring. Someone else can have that. I'm talking about the whole fight game. And he's right. If you're talking about the way he played the fight game, that's the career you should want. If it's your kid boxing, that's the career you would want, was Floyd Mayweather's career. But it set a bad precedent from fans' point of view for other fighters. Because what it taught other top fighters is avoid risks when they're not worth money, wait until the risk go down and the reward goes up, and then fight. From our point of view, fans and networks, that's not what we want. We want the Pacquiao model. Go head first into the biggest, baddest challenge. That's why Pacquiao has some losses. So he fought Morales and Barrera and Marquez and then later on, everyone who's bigger than him.
Let's not forget, when you say Marquez, let's not just throw that out there. That's when we learned that Pacquiao too takes Ambien. That's when we learned that he was with the sleep.
Stephen A. That's what.
Don't forget
you're
that.
right, but that's what happened.
Okay, now you see that, the ambient joke and stuff. You see, that's what a lot of fanboys shit just got me upset, man, because it's the truth. That's what a lot of fanboys and a lot of Flomos, as to Floyd Mayweather fanatics, let me put this shit away, Floyd Mayweather fanatics say. And this is what they resort to. And he went to sleep, but this is what it's really about. What's about to be said by Max Kellerman. This is exactly what it's about. This is why. This is what a lot of real boxing heads have been saying in debates and trying to educate you fucking Flomos and you fucking non-educated and lost boxing fans. Let me commence.
Okay,
but let's not forget that.
You're right, but that's what happens when you take real risks. Muhammad Ali lost. He took risks. So what I'm saying about Pacquiao now is it wise to fight Crawford right now? Certainly Pacquiao has chances to win. But if you want to know how good Crawford is, most, I think, inside boxing people would think Crawford wins that fight, including, I think, Stephen A. Smith. Well, and let me just say that if I were managing Pacquiao, I might say, don't take the fight. But as a boxing fan, I love the fact that Pacquiao takes on challenges. Terrence Crawford is the biggest, baddest challenge he could take on right now. And given Pacquiao's character and his nature and his track record, I think he's going to take him.
Now, there you have it. That's what I wanted to give you guys, simply because that's what needed to be said. HBO has been with boxing since cable started. 10 years later, Showtime showcased and Marvelous Marvin Hagler was the first to open, okay, for Showtime and open up that show, a top rank fighter. All of you are victims of miseducation of the sport, man. The guys that actually do this, and you know what I mean? Their agenda has brainwashed you to hate real boxing. Oh, shit. How can you actually hate the sport and fucking segregate it with falsehood of competitiveness? How could you? Because this is what most of you are fucking doing. Put this shit away. Things will happen where we have to choose. They will think that we have to. This is why I tell you all of this and try to open your eyes so you can hashtag come back to boxing. There is a place for Heyman and his model, but it will only fit as a showcase for prospects and semi-seasoned fighters. Let's just get that one thing straight. Okay? That's all it's going to produce. That's all it's for. That is all it's for. So, let's just let pay-per-view and HBO, let's let that platform be for the big boys and the competitive fighters. Bottom line. This is the way that it's always been. This is the road that fighters had to take. So why don't we just leave that the way it was? Because we were getting great fucking matches when left alone, right? So why don't we just leave that shit alone? Hashtag wake up. Hashtag come back to boxing. My name is J.COTTO. Thank you for joining my fight page. God bless. Stay vigilant. Peace.
Yeah. You know, life could be tricky, you know. But just make sure it's you pulling that rabbit out the hat. You feel me?
Living on the edge. I'm living on the edge. Every day I pray that I don't fall off this cliff and bust my head. I'm living on the edge. They got me walking on the track, bro. I guess they gonna see me fall for these white folks. I'm getting close to ground, let me start to say a prayer. I gotta keep my faith in God, Lord, are you there? My silent cries became loud as the world turned. Forget my pride, there's a lesson that we need to learn. So put aside all the bullshit and recognize that you forgot about